Hey guys, it's Mike the Wrestling Dad Smith. This video today actually is about the thing I just heard about just now. So basically, WWE Raw or SmackDown and Raw is the creative side is getting handed to Bruce Pritchard, which I'm like I don't know. I'm thinking like why? That's my question. Like if we're not gonna see if we're literally because they got rid of Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman for some reason doesn't know what to do, and I'm thinking because he's not really. It would be fun if he was a general manager, and I think it would work. But I'm just like, you know, like, why are they doing this? And this is the thing too that I know Wrestling Observer is probably gonna say it better than I am, but I'm gonna say it better than him. This is the thing where now, like WWE has this thing where they've had it for a long time, especially with the main roster before even NXT even got started, even with the main roster. And this is the thing I'm talking about. When you put guys that are supposed to be built up as the face of the company, and there's been many faces of the company. Like it was like for a long time it was Hulk Hogan. For another time it was Brett. Another time it was it was Ric Flair. Another time it was Shawn Michaels, and another time it was Triple H, and even The Rock. And you know what? Even Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was the uber face of the company until he retired. Because here's my thing, he's not a bad guy. See, Bruce Pritchard is not a bad guy because I've heard so much about him and I know what he's been talking about. Because he literally joined WWE a lot like since like the mid '90s, and I just feel like you know what. Here's the thing too. When you have a guy like him, and there is hope for the future of WWE, but there's only gonna be a future if there is NXT. That's the thing. And now that Trips is kind of running the show, and Trips is running the show over there, and Johnny Saint's running the show in the UK branch. It's like, well, what do we do? You know, and that's my thing because I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like, you know, there really isn't a place for Paul Heyman as much as we like to believe there's not. And I kind of feel like even with the creative, Raw and SmackDown are still gonna end up being they're just gonna be end up boring because there's no new storylines as much as there should be, and there isn't, and that's kind of the sad part. That at the end of the day, NXT and AEW do so well on Wednesday nights. Like when people are so excited about NXT, like Wednesday nights, is because of the fact of they don't. The stories are fresh. The stories have been so fresh that it's not even funny. And even with the Velveteen Dream stuff being a little lackluster because it's Velveteen Dream and they're trying to prepare him for something, which I see that to a point. And they're trying to make Drake go have a decent route. He's actually gonna have a route with the unmasked the unmasked Del Fantasma, which I'm gonna talk about in my NXT review because I'm sorry guys I wanted to do it yesterday. Why so I have all the information. But here's my thing, we've got so many things to do with the main roster, and this is what I feel like Bruce Pritchard's gonna end up doing is that he's gonna end up ruining Raw and SmackDown because the fact is, guys, I'm not making this a long video. The fact is this: they will make they will make this a really bad. The main roster will be a joke because the thing is they're gonna put see the biggest feud they have right now is Bobby and Drew, Seth and Aleister Black, and that's it. And maybe Charlotte and Asuka for the win for the Raw Women's title if they decide to put Rhea in that match, which I want to say, which I do want to say is that Rhea is done. Rhea's career, like her being NXT champion, should have happened. It would have been a good title win. I think she would have had a great title win. I just think that her going to Raw at the time she needed, like at the time they need her to go to Raw, which is now, is a perfect thing. But I think Bruce Pritchard's gonna screw her. because Bruce has to follow Vince's thing, and Vince's MO was always dumb storylines that don't make sense, lackluster rivalries, and bad title reigns. And this is the thing: if they ruin Drew's title reign by giving him like a jobber, and this is the thing with Bobby Lashley that I was saying with Bobby Lashley, is that you can't make him the top dog because he was already the top dog when he first got the title, and that's the thing. And you sold him to ECW, but he left to go to TNA and became the champion over there. And that's my thing. You got guys that basically come from other companies, and you try to run them, or you try to put them in storylines that don't make sense. It's the same thing with Dean. It was the same thing with Dean trying to be the face of the company in early 2016. And that's what they did. They made that dude the face of the company because he actually said, yo, I'm actually going to do what I said. I'm going to be WWE champion. I'm going to win Money in the Bank. I'm going to beat Seth. I'm going to get my revenge on Seth. That's the thing. And now we've got this thing where, and now we got this thing with Bruce Pritchard. It's like Raw and SmackDown suffer because of the lack of storyline. It suffers because you have guys that they're putting on the brand or the top of the card, and you got guys that want to be champions, that want to be really good champions like Apollo Crews. You got a guy like that. Then you got Andrade. You got Angel Garza. You got him and Angel Garza, and Zelina Vega, which I think he's better off just being a part of Aleister Black's thing. And I feel like they're gonna get him. And I feel like when another NXT, if they even decide to get us, I forgot his name, Savio Escobar, if they get him, like that's another thing you gotta drag. That's the thing I'm talking about. It's the lack of stories that they're trying to push. It's the lack of the mindset they're trying to push, because to me, I feel like they're not really doing it. And then it's like, well, what do we do? How do we do it? And why we do it for? Because I feel like this is the point where we're having so many different things. And like I tell you before, like I'm telling you guys, and thank you for all the views, and thank you for your support. I thank you. Thanks for the comments. Thank you for all the love and support. Like I say, you guys have to understand that if Raw and SmackDown gets started by Bruce Pritchard, the creative team is already kind of bombing it because they don't know where to book everybody, and the booking is really it's lackluster as it is. It's kind of lackluster, and I'm just feeling like, you know what, if we got a guy, then we got a guy, but if we don't, then don't sit there and say, you know what, we can make him champion. This is the thing I was saying with Bobby. You can make Bobby a champion. You just have to push him. And that's the thing. You got MVP, which is the mouthpiece. You got him, but you got Bobby. And you got Bobby, you got Lana, you got Drew. So they're in a storyline, pretty much a four-part storyline that's never gonna stop. Because the reason is that they're gonna steamroll this. They're gonna steamroll it like tonight. SmackDown is gonna be such a drag because they don't know what to do on SmackDown. They don't know what they're doing with SmackDown in the first place, because no matter how many people they get, no matter if they get AJ Styles, no matter if Matt Hardy ends up going, because Matt Hardy's not a bad guy. Jeff Hardy's not a bad guy. It's just that when they're literally trying to pull somebody, and they're literally trying to pull SmackDown from the ashes and make it the greatest brand in the world, like the B show that it is, it's not really the B show. NXT is more of the B show because of the fact that we get fresh rivalries every day, every Wednesday. And that's the thing I was thinking about with SmackDown. It's like, we don't really gotta rush with SmackDown because it's like, yo, it's at the end of the week. So everybody who's really getting prepared for SmackDown, people who are actually having titles, and that's the thing. This is their problem that I always have a problem with SmackDown's booking in Raw, and I'm telling you, Bruce Pritchard's basically gonna do an old WCW tactic. I feel like he's gonna do the Vince Russo. He's literally gonna strip everybody of the he's gonna strip everybody of the titles. Because that's what he did with the Intercontinental title. He stripped the Sami Zayn of it to have a new Intercontinental champion to put them in a tournament. Which I'm thinking they're gonna do that with Bayley and Sasha, because Fact is, she can't be a double champion, and there's nobody to defend it against, except for Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, which I'm fine with. But it's the same thing. I keep seeing the same thing. That's the point. They don't do anything. And they got so much talent, they should be really just like, yo, if they really want to give viewers, why don't you just strip the title and just be like, you know what? So so the women's titles are gonna become SmackDown women's titles, yada yada yada. But they don't want to do that because in reality, they're not doing it. And I'm pretty sure that wild card rule that Raw and SmackDown did a while back is still in effect. I think it's probably there. It's just they can invade a show 4 times a year, which was really kind of stupid. It would work if it was the ruthless aggression era and they were trying to get ratings and they were trying to steal ratings from each other. But NXT's kind of banking off of that because NXT is just pumping out things, and that's the problem. And I feel like Bruce Pritchard's that one of the guy that's literally like he's kind of delusional because he's a great general manager, and I think he should be general manager instead of being creative. I think general manager suits him because he knows how to take, like, he can take the Intercontinental Champion and make it relevant. He can take the Universal Champion, make it relevant. That's the thing. You're supposed to make it relevant, not like it's not relevant. And like I said, guys, I think Bruce Pritchard is gonna not gonna go as well with Raw, man. I just don't know because I look at Raw. I've looked at Raw week after week on a Monday, just like everybody else. But I feel like the stories are lackluster. The same thing with SmackDown. It's the same. It's the same method that they've been trying to do since WCW, and just the Monday Night Wars, and I don't know where the booking is going. Like that's my mindset. I don't know where the book's going. I don't know where the booking is going. I don't know where the brain power of everything kind of doesn't work with me. And I'm just like, you know what? Where do we go? How do we do it? How do we say we do it? And how do we push it? Because it's like it's 5 different things, one shot. 5 different things, one shot, one chance, and I get that. But here's the bewilderment that gets me. The bewilderment doesn't understand. Like, see, this is the thing about Raw that I'm thinking that Vince is gonna end up doing. Vince is gonna like Drew that he's gonna make him the face of Raw, because Bobby's never gonna be the face. I've known this since like 2007. I knew this, and even when he came back, I just don't see the sense. I don't see the thing. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.